prime opportunity for the Blues because the Giants dog walked the Colts. And then here comes the Raiders.
I looked at everyone and I was like, oh, the Giants are winning.
Yeah.
Oh, the Jags are winning. Oh, the Raiders are winning. What is happening?
Ew. Ew. Dude, it's so funny, too, because now, like, all of the hate that happened with the Raiders last week, you see a bunch of fans doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even tank right. What's wrong with you? Like, just so mad because now the Patriots have the #1 pick.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No,
yeah.
that's terrible. Terrible news.
I think the Giants have dropped to 4, and the Raiders have now dropped to 8.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
That is
And the Chargers
nasty.
clinched.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that they rest next week.
Oh, no.
If we get pushed outside the top 10 with the season that we just had, I don't even know what. I got to pick a different team to watch automatically before the season even starts.
Oh,
It's bad business, man.
Makes me feel so much better.
Yeah.
Welcome to the house.
To the house.
Whatever episode this is, 22. Speaking of seasons that are the worst and terrible and everything's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Raiders. The Seahawks. You could call it a game.
This is worse.
You could call it a game.
Yeah.
There definitely was like people in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
I like the dude with the bag on his head that said, "Why am I here?"
Yeah. Same.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've never emphasized.
Yeah, dude. I was watching that game because I'm in
fans so much.
I'm in the championship in one of my leagues, and I was watching it. And I was just like, "This is watching paint dry would be more entertaining than this freaking game, dude." Oh my gosh,
Ridiculous.
It was disgusting.
Ridiculous. I don't want to subject anyone to a deep conversation about Punt Fest, the game, the show. Seahawks win 6-3. And you know what? I'm glad they're eliminated from the playoffs. Thank you, Cardinals. Once again, frauds. I mean, not that they were contenders, but they suck.
They suck.
I thought they took a step. They blow it up.
Yeah.
Blow it up, Arizona. You're terrible.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to watch the Seahawks play a playoff game anyway, because that would almost be more embarrassing than them missing the playoffs.
I feel like this is worse though, because it's like,
oh, it's bad. Because don't get me wrong.
Because you had like a very mediocre season.
Oh, and it was such an easy route to the playoffs.
And
you know
then,
what's so I just hope they lose to the Rams. You know why?
Why?
Because if they beat the Rams, the thing keeping them out of the playoffs is losing to the Giants.
That's awesome.
So hope they lose. Hope we get a better draft pick. They're eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah,
that see. Thursday night football game was a shame.
Gino's playing for his job, and he's playing for a contract.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
No, and I'm sure we'll dissect the whole Seahawks postmortem with Jay here at some point. But I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed this week. Last week I was mad. This week it's just
like a dad.
What a
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
What a wet fart of an end to the season. 6-3 win on Thursday Night Football. Just brutal. Are the Broncos going to choke it away, Brian? I don't know how many more things you could have go right for you in a game where all you have to do is win and you're in.
Win one. In the last 3, all they had to do was win one.
Now you play the Chiefs.
But the Chiefs have they have clinched the #1 seed.
So they're going to rest everyone.
And so there's a good chance that they rest everyone, so that's not good for the Bengals. But there is talks that the Chiefs, because the Broncos are a tough team, right? Like they're a gritty team, gritty defense. So there's talks that and they know the Chiefs better than these other teams, right? So there's talks that the Chiefs would try to beat the Broncos so that way the Bengals could get in, and then they go and play Buffalo and then potentially not have to play it. Because the Bengals, like Joe Burrow is amazing, but they just have too many holes to really
who
contend.
else is amazing? T. Higgins, who put up 40 points. My fantasy team scored 280
Hey man,
points.
You won your money back.
I got my money back. I'm not. I'm happy.
Yeah.
What a performance. Yeah. I mean, that's any given
Dude,
week.
they were asking him too after the game. They were like, so are there any thoughts about this being your last game in Cincinnati? And he was like, Yeah, definitely has been my thought. Like all week, this could be my last game. And that's crazy, bro. Like, pay that man, dude. But the thing is, you gotta pay Jamar Chase, and you have so many holes on defense. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to re-sign T.
I'm rooting for the Bengals just as an underdog story. Yeah. The Bucks all of a sudden said, "Hey, wait, guys, no, the Panthers are actually bad, and we want to be in the playoffs."
Bryce Young still had some gritty, flashy plays. I mean, he threw some bombs. And of course, I benched Adam Thielen for Terry McLaurin, who put up one. And now I'm down by 24 going into Monday.
Rough.
Yeah,
that's rough.
I would win. I would already won if I had played.
You know who was on my fantasy team? I made just every right decision. Baker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, McMillan.
Yeah.
McMillan, who was just sitting on waivers, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah, might as well.
Take Dells out. Just 2 touchdowns. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, what a fantasy week. Okay.
In basketball news, there's some trades going on. This is a little old. Dennis Schroeder went to Golden State. The Lakers, who have trying to rebound their season, have traded D'Angelo Russell and Maxwell Lewis and 3 second-round picks to the Brooklyn Nets for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shaq Milton.
Basketball trades are so weird.
And here's the deal.
All of our
this
seconds.
is the second time that D'Angelo Russell has been traded to the Nets from the Lakers. If you come back, D'Angelo, you're stupid.
I feel it is so funny. Yeah. But like there is an actual person that's involved with it, and it's not easy. It's not easy to uproot, your whole life and your family, but it is kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
so definitely not the biggest basketball story that's coming out though, because I think the big story in basketball was, here's the NFL's ratings on Christmas.
Yeah.
And here's the basketball ratings on Christmas.
Did you see LeBron too try to be like,
oh yeah,
I love
Christmas
you,
is our day.
Christmas has been the NBA's day for a long time.
It's not anymore.
But it's not
the NFL
anymore.
Has done it twice now,
yeah.
And they're like, cool, this is ours now.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's talk about the ratings. So the ratings are down to a historic low for the NBA. Adam Silver is kind of nonchalantly just saying like, this is due to the election and the MLB playoffs and all of this type of stuff. And there's some like fan conversations that I want to ask you about. I know you're not a big basketball guy, but one of the reasons that people are saying that the NBA's ratings are down is because there's too many threes.
Yeah, I mean that's what TikTok has been telling me too, but I don't know if I can believe it,
right?
Because I'm not like super. I don't watch a lot of NBA, right? Like, because here's the thing: is I'm a big hockey guy. Well, if the NBA is on, there's always a hockey game on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and unless it's the playoffs, in which case I will pay attention a little bit. But like, there's so much else going on during basketball season. Now that said. I have noticed in like my kind of casual watching of the NBA this year compared to last year, that the games are not as good. I remember
they don't feel very competitive.
They don't.
So that's the other question.
And it's a real stark contrast because you know what I watch a ton of?
Mm-hmm.
March Madness.
Yeah,
love March Madness.
Yeah,
ton of competitiveness. Ton of like. It's a very different game, and I think that it's really hard. This is a really bad year for me to try to get into the NBA because in that first week, that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, man, some of these games are just they're
like playing a pickup game.
And you compare that to the NHL, where there has been like last season set the record for most multi-goal comebacks in a year.
Right.
Like the NHL. Even if you're not a big hockey guy, you can watch a game and be like, man, even though the score is 4-1 right now, anything can happen.
Yeah.
And the NBA does not feel like that watching games.
So I mean, like I think there is some weight to the too many threes because there's a lot of teams. The problem is there's a lot of teams shooting threes in transition. and it's copycat, right? Where
because Steph can do that.
Yeah,
Steph can just roll up.
That's like
cool.
that's the argument to it. Like, how can you say it's too many threes when one of the biggest NBA stars was a 3-point shooter? But you look at the way that
because he's good at it.
But you look at the way he was doing
It's entertaining because he's making the threes.
When Steph would hit a transition three, it was a dagger. It was like bang, dude. Like just
some of those shots he had in the Olympics,
dude.
Like I've never.
He's and then you look at WNBA, and when their rating skyrocketed, right? They skyrocketed because of Caitlin Clark. I don't care. I'm not going to get into a huge debate about that. That is what it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
WNBA.
it is.
Like, just deal with it.
But that's okay.
Yeah, like
it's not a bad thing to have your ratings go up.
Let it happen.
Maybe market that person instead of pushing them.
There's people. There's like veterans that have been stars for a while that are like, we've built this too. And I'm like, sure, yeah, you laid the foundation.
Yeah,
and she gave you the catapult to get up there. But her game is really assists, three type of game. So, but I think the problem is like with team trying to adapt that is it just looks ugly because they're not making them. So they're running in transition, shot clock's at 20, and they huck up a three from 2 feet behind the 3-point line. It's like, why would you do that? Because some analytics says that's a good good play.
I didn't play basketball past middle school.
Yeah,
but here's what I know of my 4 years of playing elementary, middle school basketball. If I hucked up a three with that much time left on the clock, my coach was going to bench me.
Yeah.
You look real dumb. That style of game would get you sat in a high school game if you were doing that and missing.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you as someone that is very involved in basketball is, where do you go from here? You can't just tell teams stop shooting bad threes.
Right.
Are players eventually just going to get better at it to where you develop to where now everyone's able to make that shot in transition? And that would be interesting because now like defenses have to completely change and you have to put right now it's just like, take that shot from half court, idiot.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I don't know what the fix is because I think the threes contribute to it. There's people say that the officiating is too soft, but free throws are down. And the NBA has made an effort to like the take foul. They added the take foul. So like because there was teams that would like if you're on a fast break, they would just foul you.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's no consequence to that. Now, if you do that, it's one free throw and they get the ball back.
And here's the thing about NBA officiating. I don't like that take because all I hear about as someone that watches football and hockey and holy cow, baseball is how good NBA officiating is because they have the 2-minute report.
Yeah.
And they make adjustments to the score during the game.
Yeah.
And you can ask the officials questions and they'll be like, yeah, I missed that call. Major League Baseball, you sneeze wrong and you're getting thrown out of the game with these umpires that don't know how to call balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Robot umpires. Yeah. Please.
The
sooner the better. Like the NBA has
bad,
I think,
sure.
And people are going to complain about the refs in any sport. I think of the major 4 American sports, the NBA, and again, this is outsider take, NBA has the best officiating, just based off the fact that there is accountability for the officials baked in.
Yeah.
I mean, don't complain to an MLB fan about NBA officiating.
Yeah. So like, I think a lot of it is, okay, so if you look at it, like LeBron James, star, right? He's 40 years old. Steph Curry, star, 36 years old. Kevin Durant, 35 or 36, something like that. So like these big name stars are aging out and you're in this transition. And I think the only way, and the NBA is trying to, that's why they added the NBA Cup to try to make the regular season more interesting, because it doesn't feel like the teams care as much during the regular season. Like the Kings and the Lakers have had a rivalry for years. I watched the Lakers sweep them in the season series, and I watched I think 3 out of the 4. I did not feel a rivalry in those games. Yeah. When I watched the Lakers play the Celtics, who's like one of the biggest.
That is the basketball rivalry.
Right. I don't feel the rivalry, right? Like there is just not that really competitive juice. And I don't know how you fix that without fixing your team's like teams' cultures and how do you do that, right? Like it's more about like this like flashy show and like and I also think there's not as many players. Like we haven't had a LeBron James enter the league in a long time.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say is like, you know, when I knew the most about basketball was LeBron goes to the Heat. Yeah. LeBron, you know, Wade and oh no, am I gonna biff this? James, Wade.
He looks like a Raptor.
He looks like a Raptor. That's not helpful because the only Raptor I could think of right now is Kawhi Leonard. Because he won with the Raptors in 2019.
Chris Bosh.
Chris Bosh. I knew it was a B. Dang it. Okay. I'm going to get flamed for that. Dang it. That was like, but I at least knew that was a thing.
That was happening, right?
It was the big three, right? And then LeBron goes back to Cleveland. And then it's Cleveland, Golden State, and it's Curry versus LeBron.
Yeah,
LeBron
there was like
versus Curry.
And there was that 4-year rivalry. Like, and those games were gritty and nasty, and like they were putting it all on the line.
That's not this season.
It's not this season.
We don't hasn't been last season,
right? Like a lot of these guys that are retiring are like embracing the fact that this could be their last time playing each other, and it's like, oh, I love you, buddy. Oh, I love you too. Like I don't want to see that, bro. I want you to want to rip his heart out and just ruin his career. That's what I want from you. That's what I want to see. And then the hottest take that I seen though on this whole thing was there's a cultural disconnect. So if you look at the big name stars now, you got like Luka, Giannis, right? You got and Giannis is like flamed out for some reason. I don't know what's going on with him. Like he's not. I mean, he's still Giannis, but he's not like his name is the Greek Freak, and I haven't seen the freak part of that for a while.
Needed to get a little more freaky. That's what you're saying.
But so people are saying like people are saying like there's just not like. American fans aren't as interested because there's not, like I said, there's not the LeBron James. I think Anthony Edwards has an opportunity to. I mean, but he's not consistent. He's not doing these like LeBron would go out on a game basis, right? Yeah. LeBron, Kobe, even Derrick Rose when Derrick Rose was in his prime, like would go out on a game basis and put up like plays that are just like. Superhuman. Like how did he do that, right? John Morant has 1 or 2 of those a game, you know what I mean? But like and so I think there's potential there, but I think you're missing that player with that it factor that's just like, sure, I'm coming in, I'm dominating the league. We need a Shohei, dude. We need a Shohei that's
so that's what I was gonna say is I think that baseball has started nibbling on the market share a little bit. I think this playoffs was fantastic for baseball. Because it wasn't just the World Series. It was every single series. There was drama. There was intensity. There was some fantastic games, some crazy comebacks. Hockey is always little brother, but they have right now the benefit, the huge advantage that hockey has, other than the fact that if you watch hockey, it's a crazy sport, even just to watch casually. Like, I feel like you can derive entertainment from dudes flying around on knife shoes, smashing each other into the glass, right? Yeah. But they also have, I think, the most star power that the league has had, potentially in the history of the NHL. There is more talent on the ice right now than any other era, which is the total opposite of what it feels like the NBA is going through. So they're nibbling on the market share. Yeah. But the biggest problem that all 3 of these leagues have is that the NFL is already the biggest league.
But here's the deal.
And it's
why is the NFL
everyone.
the biggest league? What did I said?
Star power, right?
I said it a couple. No, because you think about it, like they've just gone through a transition, right? Where the Tom Brady's retired, and like so all of them,
I can see
right?
that. But I also see my brother and all his high school friends running around with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce.
Yeah, that's fair. But also with that, I said it last week. The NFL is the only league that resets every single week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like every week is an important game. Like you can maybe miss 1 or 2 in the beginning of the year and drop a couple. But when you start getting towards mid-season, it's like because there's only 17 games, you gotta put it on the line. Yeah. Right?
And it culminates in the biggest sporting event of the entire world.
So then there's always drama coming to the end of the year. right? There's always drama as, oh, this team needs these people to lose and they have to win this game and then that person has to lose and da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like the NBA doesn't have that. I think the NBA should shrink their season. 82 games is too long. If you want to make these teams care, give them like a 50-game season and see how much. Because then if you only got 50 games, bro, there's not games where stars are like, oh, I think I'm going to rest today.
I think that could help.
You could shrink the back-to-backs. It will never happen.
It will never happen because owners like money.
They love money.
They
make a ton of money.
And they do make a ton of money. We will see you next week for another episode of To the House. NFL playoffs will be set, and we will dive into that. Maybe a little bit of a longer episode, preview the playoffs, and then also take a look at how wrong our predictions were. Very wrong. Yeah. as it turns out. I think I said that 3 teams could come out of the NFC West, and just don't listen to me. Why are you even still watching this show? This is a really bad ad for that. Even when we're rooting against each other, sports bring us together.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Thank you.